We're going to talk about what makes a recipe. And I've got 3 examples for you here. 3, whoops. That wasn't supposed to happen. 3 sugar cookie recipes. You can see from this first one, there's a list of ingredients. It says 2 3/4, 1, 1/2, 1, 1 1/2, 1, 1. Those are your ingredients. And then there's some steps. Preheat the oven, stir together the first 3 ingredients, cream together the next 2 ingredients until smooth, beat in the final ingredients, gradually blend in the dry ingredients, and then you bake it. Easy, right? No. What's wrong with this recipe? How can it be fixed? Well, the ingredients are only listed amounts. You don't actually know what you're supposed to be mixing. So fix by listing like the names of ingredients. Okay, we look at the next one. Okay, this is a little better. We got 2 3/4 cups. We have 1 baking soda, 1/2 of a teaspoon. We have 1 butter, 1 1/2 cups, 1 egg, and 1 vanilla. This is better. But then when you go to make the recipe, stir together the first 3 ingredients. How do I stir together 2 3/4 cups? Cups of what? 1 baking soda. What does that mean? What, like a whole box? How big of a box? How much is one little tiny like grain? 1 baking soda? 1/2 teaspoon of what? Should I get a literal plastic spoon and just, if it says it's 1/2 teaspoon, just put the whole spoon in there? Is that what I'm supposed to do? No, obviously not. So what's wrong with this recipe? Well, now the ingredients have some names and some, so names like baking soda and butter. And they also have some, what's that called? These words like cups and teaspoon. Those are units. But that's not enough to actually make this recipe. So how could it be fixed? You got to label unit and name for each number. So let's look at recipe number 3. This one, 2 3/4 cups of flour, 1 teaspoon of baking soda, 1/2 teaspoon of baking powder, 1 cup of butter. And it even gives you this like bonus word of softened. 1 1/2 cups of white sugar, 1 egg yolk, not the whole egg, 1 teaspoon of vanilla extract. This is actually finally enough information to make our recipe, right? What's different about this recipe compared to recipes 1 and 2? All the ingredients have a unit, well, I should say a number, a unit, and a name for everything. So why is this recipe more useful than recipe 1 or recipe 2? Well, you could actually make it. So the next question is, what does that have to do with chemistry? Chemistry involves a large amount of mathematical calculations. And when you answer a calculation problem in a chemistry classroom, you need to record your answers in a useful way, like in recipe 3. If you're just giving me 12.45 or 6.79 or 1.34 times 10 to the 23rd, that is not useful. If you are giving me 12.45 grams or 6.79 lithium or whatever, that's still not useful. That doesn't tell me enough. But if you're giving me a unit and a name, a unit and a name, a unit and a name for every single one of those numbers, then you are giving me enough information. That is a useful way to list your species. That's what we call it in chemistry. We call them species. So keep that in mind as we move forward to talking about moles.